With the Go Have Rush Festival coming to a close, we have all played hundreds of games in a very short time span. And that means we are going to see a lot of situations occur. I went ahead and asked my Discord server what some of their best and worst plays during the festival were. As you can see by the number of responses, it looks like our players are fumbling the bag. And that's what we're going to be covering today. To start off, personally, I had played very little Hell Tuning Invasion prior to the start of the event, and it is the main deck that I used during the festival, and that meant I had to take some time to get used to the skill. I would lose so many games trying to be fancy, using my Palace Gargoyle and Shadowbuyers to become level 5, and I would perform a tribute summon and realize Invasion actually can't destroy anything. Or maybe, or that my heavy metal is gonna pop the wrong creature. Mistakes like this were not uncommon, especially during day 1. And if you check out my deck profile, I even include a wonderful replay showcasing a situation just like this. But let's get into what all of you have said. First up, we have Draco Kid with a really similar situation. Shadowbuyer is the only level monster that's able to attack in the Hell Tuning Invasion deck when you use the skill. This is because Shadowbuyer gains a level for every card on the opponent's field. And just like Draco, I would often summon out the Shadowbuyer when my opponent only has one boss monster on board. I'd activate the skill, increase Shadowbuyer's level, and then realize it was level 6 and still unable to attack. And that meant I was just leaving myself completely open when I could have been setting a card face down instead. I absolutely lost games this way. And then, talking about getting the skill timing wrong, this is actually a really important thing for the deck success. I mentioned the Palace Gargoyle and the Shadowbuyers earlier. But, if you actually sequence it correctly, you can destroy the opponent's boss monster before flipping their low levels up. But sometimes you'll accidentally use the skill first, and then end up eating a 0 attack monster like Babysitter Goat or Strange Cat, or you'll try to sequence it afterwards and make a mistake like me, where you're now no longer even able to use the skill at all. A lady says they kept an 1800 attack point Yggdrago on the board. So I think what must have happened here is running a deck like Beyond Curiosity, where it lowers the Yggdrago's attack every turn, and then not tributing it off when given the opportunity to go for a win with your other monsters. A lone 1800 attack point monster is going to get run over, and then you're going to take over 3000 damage from the opponent's monsters, and that is a really quick way to lose the game. Similarly, if you're playing Beyond Curiosity, and you just slam down every single draw card you get, a lot of those are going to be -1s, and you're going to end up not having anything to actually do after you draw off the cards. At some point, you need to actually summon or set your monsters. Paco mentions something I actually did the other day. Shield and Sword, of course, switches the attack and defense of all of the monsters on the field. However, all monsters includes our own, and it's really easy to start sequencing your plays, summon out some low defense monsters, and then realize you haven't actually used the spell card yet. And that is a quick way to lose the game. Veiga with a classic misclick situation. Playing against the Harpies as Thunder. A lot of the time, you do want to switch those Harpy Lady Sisters into defense mode. They have 0 defense, and you're going to get in some big piercing damage. But if you activate Shield and Sword, it's now a 0 attack monster. And you are now switching it over to defense as a 2100 body and losing out on what is essentially a direct attack. What I've learned here today is that I have committed every single one of these things that everyone has said. And that means I am the worst duelist of them all.